Alright guys, welcome to lesson 1 of the GYO piano course. This lesson is entitled The Interface, and it's about how our bodies are going to interact with this appliance to create awesome music. So, the very first thing you want to remember about playing the piano is that it's not only about your fingers. It's about much more than your fingers. Your fingers are connected to your knuckles, which are connected to your hands, which are connected to your wrists, which are connected to your arms, which are connected to your shoulders, which are your back, spine, head, alignment, where your feet are on them. All of that goes into creating the sound you're going to create. So every time you sit at the piano, if you can remember that it's about more than just your fingers and check in with your entire body, you're going to be a much safer, healthier, and more killing piano player. And that's what we want. So, when I sit down at the piano, there are a couple things that I check in with. One, very first thing, I want to make sure that I'm high enough. I don't want to be below the piano or I'm down here. Really bad for your wrists. I also don't want to be above it too much. That's also not good for your hands and wrists. I want to be slightly above the piano and, not too close, not too far. So I don't want to be hunched over it unless I'm really getting romantic and want to get in my feelings. I don't want to be, like this unless it's, like one of those moments where like somebody's just killing it. They're just playing gracefully, that kind of thing. Okay, occasionally, in general though, the posture we want to have is a Goldilocks posture. Not too high, not too low, not too close, not too far. Nice. Breathe. Maybe breathe before you even worry about the posture thing. Always breathe. Good advice. But definitely check in with your breath as well. I don't want to get all mystical about it, but what we're doing here is not simply about Newtonian mechanics of the anatomy or something like that. It's not just presses down and get note. It's a lot bigger system of energetic flow that's going to be involved in how you create stuff. So if you can get your chi right, like Bruce Lee, we want to be flowing like water, you will play much better. So those are the two things, your posture, positioning, and breath are really good to check in with at first. Now, the interface we're looking at, let's just see, without worrying about whether it's a C, an A F sharp, whatever, whether it's a do, re, mi, none of that, so we're not going to think about any of this. Just look for patterns. So I see a bunch of white keys and a bunch of black keys. And I'm noticing that there are 3 black keys and 2 black keys. 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3 black keys, and that seems to be a repeating pattern up and down. Okay, that's somewhere to start. So what we can do is go to the 3 black keys. Let's just take our 3 fingers on each hand and go to the 3 black keys. The bottom of the black keys, if I hit them together, that's with my ring finger in my left hand and my index finger in my right hand. And then I hit the next one, the middle one, with both of my middle fingers. I'm not going to show you guys those. And then the third one with my, you get it? Alright, I just played a little melody. I can do the, sorry guys, had to do it. I could play a lot of different melodies with just those 3 notes. We already are jamming. We could already invent stuff. We can already go, whatever. Now we have something to hold on to. We have a pattern that we're recognizing to hold on to. So what I want you to remember is that moving around through all these different keys, we're going to keep breathing and keep, not. One thing I forgot to tell you about bodies: don't turn your wrists too much. If you can avoid torquing your wrist a bunch, that's great. If you can keep your wrist kind of aligned, you don't want stiff wrists. You want to keep them supple and be able to, fluid a little bit, move around. But you also really do not want to be doing this. Any tension in the body, that's why breathing really helps, will inhibit your piano playing and your sound. It will inhibit your technique. You won't be as fast. The sound won't be as good because you won't be as fast. And you just won't feel as good doing it. So you won't come back to it as often. So that's one of the reasons people smoke, I hear, is that, deep breathing is something all too rare in society. So if every time you sit down at the piano you take a deep breath or 3, you're going to be miles ahead of the people who aren't checking in with their entire body. So back to the pattern that we're looking at. We're looking to change with our body, or participate with. Let me put it that way. We're gonna find these patterns. We're gonna manipulate them. Anyways. bottom of our 3 black keys. That's what's called an F sharp. We'll talk about that sort of stuff later. You don't need to memorize that. What I would like you to memorize is the idea that in between each of these keys, that includes the black and white, sorry, unlike America, the keys are all equal here. We're headed there. Let's learn from the piano together, or at least if not be all equal, we have what's called the same value, note value. So between each of these, there is what we call a half step. You don't need to remember that. You can, there's terms like a chromatic step or a half step, but essentially, just know that every time you move up one or down one, you're moving the same distance between black and white keys, okay? Real basic, we got that, cool. The next question, I was just doing something that I noticed was like, oh, I'm not moving efficiently up and down these various keys. One of the really cool things that we do with the piano to make sure that we can make 57 notes out of 10 fingers is we do something, and do it in a short span of time, is we do something like we're called, I don't even know what's called, I forget what it's called, but passing your thumb under something. So if I want to jump from this note to this note, you see my thumb is going under. Don't twist your hand like that, I'm just doing that to show you. But that really helps us get up and down the keyboard. Freaky, playing some jazz here. Without running out of fingers. So if you just use fingers, be like, oh, where do I go? I don't want to go around that way. So drawing your thumb under when you're going up, especially, and then on the way down, you can jump fingers over. So you can leap. That was not a good example, but you get the point. I'm jumping them over my thumb. So that motion, both of those motions, the thumb going under and the fingers going over, are going to help you get around on the piano. Let's see, have we covered pretty much everything? I think that's it for now. So thank you for participating in Lesson 1. If you're just starting out, this is definitely the stuff for you. Any questions, please drop them down there. I'd be happy to answer them. It might take me a little bit of time, but I will get to the questions. And come back for Lesson 2. In Lesson 2, we're going to start talking about basic scales, i.e. how do we move around this thing? And then what sort of feelings are associated with those ways of moving? So that's really what we're doing. How do we move around? What feelings do those ways of moving generate in us? So good stuff to think about for life in general. Thank you for rocking with me. This is Cilantro signing off. I'll see you next time.